I think I might have a curse when it comes to loving things. A lot of the reasons why I like them are so rooted in my own complicated feelings, that showing them to another person requires a 3-page essay before I can even present it to another person. ReZero just so happens to be one of those things, which is kinda wild considering its popularity is in the top 24% on my anime list. Yet I consistently see numerous people talking about this show as though it's terrible and hard to watch and cringy. And yeah, I can get that it can be cringy from time to time. As a matter of fact, I love some of these cringy moments in the show, mostly because it shows how far Subaru as a character can fall and grow at any arc. By far, the highest reason for people's disdain for the show starts and ends with this character. He really is one of those people who you either love or hate, be it his decision-making, hero complex, or, of course,
everything we've been through. Everything that we've both faced, it all worked out thanks to me, didn't it? When your insignia was stolen, I saved you from an insane killer in the loot house!
A lot of people see this moment as confirmation that this is a bad show, or at the very least find it difficult to continue forward, as this is the culmination of Subaru's many flaws being blasted into a display. And they're not wrong. He embarrassed the hell out of Amelia in the middle of a royal selection, then topped it off with a nice little bow by challenging a knight that's much stronger than him to a duel. Then he gets annihilated in the process. Next, as though he wasn't the subject of making her the laughingstock of an entire kingdom, he has the gall to attack Amelia for not thanking him for saving her life. Something that barely even happened in retrospect, considering that Reinhardt, and I guess Roswell technically, were the ones to save her in the first place. It's an incredibly hard scene to watch since Subaru is continuing to make things worse for himself, and then the second-hand embarrassment hits really hard here. But let's make one thing clear, I absolutely love this scene. Subaru makes an absolute fool of himself yet again, completely inconsiderate about the person that he's trying to impress, letting his own ego take complete control over his logic, trying his hardest to shout and drown out the ending theme that plays as he speaks. This man gets shut down. Which is in stark contrast to a scene that plays 2 episodes beforehand, him being the big hero that saves the girl and gets the big moment as the savior of it all. But in reality, he hardly even did much other than just buying time. In fact, he very well would have died. He's been doing pretty much nothing but playing distraction and waiting for help to arrive thus far. He even hardly seems to realize that his meddling isn't what saves the day, due to how many times his death loop makes the situations that he's been in seem hopeless. Up until now, he's truly been, well, in the way. But to him, since he's been behind the scenes and been able to manipulate things to come out differently, causing the best outcome to happen, he's the only one who knows how things would have played out without him existing. Everything would have gone to shit. Subaru in this scene is right. He's completely right. He's saved her in ways that she wouldn't even be able to understand. All the pain and suffering that he's gone through is nothing more than rambling to him. But the audience can clearly see things from Amelia's perspective. It's framed in a way to highlight just how Subaru's obsession with being the hero in this world that he's been transported to has become. This is still partially a game to him. He's some kid who spent a year of his life hauled up in his room playing video games and watching anime. The same types of anime that sells the same power tropes of going to another world and becoming a hero. All the while, in reality, Natsuki Subaru, once top of his class in athletics and skill, the son of an incredibly talented father, had fallen from grace and has felt as though he's being crushed by the expectations of the world. Of course, being summoned to another world would cause him to act the way he did, to reinvent himself and become stronger. The harsh truth is that he's still exactly who he is. Something that Season 2 touches on with the regrets that he still has with his parents, and Season 3 hammers that in, showing that no matter what, he is exactly who he is. He can't run from that by assuming the role of the hero, despite how well that works out for him from time to time. That fact crashes down on him by episode 13. He's not the hero. He's just some kid from Japan that got an incredible power that helps him solve any issue if used correctly. But that doesn't make him any more special than anyone else. Come to think of it, I think there's another show that might have a premise like that. And now that that's handled, let's take another dive into his behavior. Because we can't excuse that with a reason. Because he's already been embarrassed once for the way he acts. But how did he take that?
No, he's gonna make it. Oh, shit.
Subaru has this happen again, too. But this time, instead of trying to insert himself as the role of hero, it's him genuinely trying to save Amelia this time, being ridiculed and humiliated by the very same people that he thought he was looking cool in front of. Him trying to make a great impression to them, but instead just looks like a clown. This doesn't just shatter Subaru, it breaks his pride bit by bit. He really is just another guy. He isn't the hero of this world. Or at least, that's not the way he sees it unfold. I think YouTuber Jam makes a pretty good point about this, showing how Subaru's expectations of this world and his role in it caused different parts of the story to end up worse for him, because in order for him to cope with being in another world and leaving everything behind is by seeing himself as the righteous one being summoned to it. A lot of people see episode 18, the one where Rem and Subaru essentially have a bottle episode of just talking, as Rem's time to shine. But I think Subaru's expression of his doubts and self-deprecation is far more appealing to me. He realized again and again his expectations have been crushed, and taking things on as the hero have faltered, crushed, smashed into pieces. He's not just a person who can do anything and everything because he's destined to. He's just some guy. And I think this is where he finally starts to take things slower and approaches things intelligently, rather than just brute forcing the outcome whenever he wants. Season 2, at least, continues that mold to that idea, but I think you'll find out that Season 3 solidifies it. So yes, Subaru is indeed cringe in this moment, as he spouts his anger-filled rage at Amelia. He continually does things that are immature, especially in the first half of the show. But he's getting better as the series goes on. He's maturing and learning to see himself rather than just run. That's all I got though. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Debate me in the comments about ReZero being a bad show if you want. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.